Today's top 10 teams on a Wednesday.
Woo! What happened?
It's Wednesday.
Something happened.
Something happened. Today is Wednesday, but we're still doing it, ladies and gentlemen. We got a new top 10 list. This one was tricky.
You got the same script for everyone.
I was gonna say you either say this.
No,
one
last week I said this one was easy.
Well, I mean that's
one
either
or two.
this one was surprisingly easy, or
Okay,
this one was tricky.
This one was indulging.
There you go. I like that.
There's a lot of 6-3 teams. That should be the title of this video.
If the Jets aren't in here, I get to slap you in the face.
I can't remember. I'm kidding.
Let's get into number 10, dude.
Number 10. Guess what? You said it.
Get out of
The Jets.
That's too low, bro.
That's too low.
Yeah, are you
But
kidding
here's
me?
the thing. There's so many teams. The
Giants?
The Giants, the Bengals, the Seahawks.
The Giants are better than the Jets.
No, I'm saying, like, do you put them? I mean, is it clear? Is it clear?
After they beat the Bills, I'd say so. I don't know. It's just me. I don't know.
I mean,
I think
I'm
it's
not
pretty
gonna.
clear.
I will say I like the Jets more than the Giants now.
Jets more than Giants. Okay.
Way to hop on, Joe.
Okay.
You're part of a great crowd over here.
The Jets crowd.
Are the Jets better than the Seahawks?
I cannot definitively.
Wow, dude, I need a dictionary.
I still want to see the Jets prove it, though. I think beating the Bills was a good step, but I still want to see them prove
What
it.
else do they got to do?
Again, it's a division rival. I think that is a lot to do with
Oh my
it.
gosh!
I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the
They beat
top
the
10.
best
I
team in the
agree with
NFL.
them.
What
But
else do
again,
they
they beat
Second
who?
best team in the NFL.
They beat
Oh, now-
someone. They beat someone. I forget who it was. Then they ended up getting destroyed by the Patriots. I just think that I want to see
all these
consistency.
teams do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just saying, I
that's
wanna see
disrespectful,
consistency.
man. They just went and beat the Buffalo Bills, and you want to say that you still got to see it from them? That's insane.
I do. I need to see consistency.
That's
Beating one team is
Dude, they're what are they 6-3? What else do they have to
6-3. They
do?
are
That's
6-3.
insane. Or where you stand with this? Do they have to show it anymore after beating the Bills?
No, I think they showed it. They beat
That's
the
nuts.
Dolphins. They beat the Packers, the Broncos.
Their defense.
I don't think
Oh,
that's
that's
good.
another thing, man. Sauce Gardner, I don't know what he's paying the NFL, but he's literally getting pass interference calls left and right, and just they're not being thrown. That call at the end of the game was a blatant pass interference, in my opinion. He didn't turn his head. He didn't do anything. I'm not saying anything against Sauce Gardner. I'm just saying it seems like they're really favoring him and not giving him calls because, again, I feel like that game should have at least had them get an opportunity at a field goal.
I will say I like the game not being decided by a penalty.
Yeah, but do you think it should be decided by something wrong that
That
happened?
one-
'Cause
I
that
don't
would
think
stop
it was
the-
that blatant of a call
That
where
one,
it had to be
the
called,
more
in
I've
my
watched
opinion.
it, the less I think it's past. I mean,
It's the fact that nobody fought for it.
that is
the
weird.
biggest thing.
That is
so-
which
weird.
blows my mind.
There was contact, but there's contact on every play, and I know
That's
he didn't
not
like
even
turn
the
his
thing.
head.
That's
really.
the thing. He didn't turn his
Yeah,
head.
but
He
there
just
wasn't-
put his hands up.
But you can do that if you don't have a lot of contact. You don't have to turn your
Yeah,
head as long
that's-
as you're not grabbing.
Right.
That's the
That's
thing.
what-
I
It's
thought
just
you
a tug
always
in
had to
that.
turn your head to spot the ball because
No.
what stops you from
Imagine
just all the time doing this?
if there's no contact,
As
you
long as you
can.
don't touch
But
Just a tug in that and pulling.
I think
yeah,
that should have been a
hand,
pass
right.
interference call.
I don't know. I think the Jets are rated a little bit too low.
But again, okay. Well, I don't want to spoil
let's see
what
the
team.
rest.
Okay, so
that-
number
that's fair.
9.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
have the Seahawks over the Jets, and that's one where you could argue the Jets are better than the Seahawks. Flip flop.
I'm not going to do that.
That's
Geno Smith is an MVP candidate.
which is
Zach
insane.
Wilson, he is.
I'm
You're
not saying he's
smirking.
not.
I know
I'm
that
saying-
sounds crazy.
I know. I
And
know
a
he is
candidate.
right
I'm not
now.
saying he's the runner-up here. He's a candidate.
They're
But
both 6-3 teams. I mean, they're both teams that nobody expected to be here. And look, they're both here.
and Geno's playing great. Defense is playing good. The thing
I'm
about
not-
Zach
Kenneth Walker.
Wilson, Zach Wilson to me isn't like phenomenal.
That's why I want him to
he
prove
has
it.
not been. He has not stepped up to
Yeah.
reach that next level yet.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I think beating the Bills is huge, and I think they deservedly should be in the top 10. I just want to consistently see them do it because I don't want us to get super hyped over one huge win, huge, amazing win, but then just be like, oh, the Jets are the next Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't want to hop on Geno Smith. This is like a
But
very.
to me, they've looked better than the Jets have.
The Jets have won 4
I
in
think
a
both
row,
teams have
lost
looked
to the
pretty good.
Patriots. And
Good,
then beat the
yes,
Bills.
but I still think the Seahawks have looked a little better than the Jets.
Yeah, you can say that. I think Geno Smith's going to eventually fall off a little bit because this is a small
And he
sample
can, but
size
here's
of
the
his
thing:
full
Zach Wilson
career.
has never jumped on.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I don't like Zach Wilson like a ton either, but they're 6-3, whatever they are.
Like, I
with
think
how,
I
with
think
how he's played.
It's going to be him holding the back Jets more than Geno right now would hold the Seahawks back. It's like people
Oh yeah,
don't
that's
even
true.
say
But
that.
but like on the other hand, is there any opportunity for Geno Smith to get any better than what he is already? Like he's already like maxed out. Like he's playing out of his freaking mind for Geno Smith. This is a guy who's been in the NFL for how long now and hasn't done. Sorry, but he hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, but how long has he
his
been
whole
a
career.
starter?
I mean, he's been in the NFL for quite a long time.
He started with
and
the
the
Jets.
majority of it's been a backup, and that's for a reason. This is kind of an anomaly to see him playing how good that he is right now.
It's fair to say.
I question whether or not he could keep it up, but it is I love seeing it. It's great, like great for him. He's carrying a team. He actually didn't say it himself, but he's outplaying Russell Wilson right now by a long shot.
He has been the
A
whole
lot
season.
of quarterbacks. Are.
And I will also say I don't think Russell Wilson could have duplicated what he's doing right now had he stayed on the Seahawks. We'll never know. Obviously,
Seahawks players are taking shots at Russ. They're basically saying, "Look what you could accomplish." Whenever one person doesn't want to take all the credit, when nobody cares who gets the credit, basically.
This is no. I don't think anybody saw this coming from Russell Wilson.
Nobody saw this coming from Geno Smith.
Yeah.
No, I thought the
blessing in
Seahawks-
disguise. I mean, Rashad Penny's been playing good, but like to see
Who?
Rashad Penny.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, Rashad Penny's been playing good, but with him going out,
Oh.
having Kenneth Walker be able
I
to
thought
stay
you meant
in
out.
has been
Yeah.
kind of a blessing in disguise for them.
Yeah, no one expected the Seahawks to be here. No one expected Russ to do as bad as he did.
I have both of these teams in the exact same category. I'm not going to argue the Seahawks over them. They're very close.
Thank
1A,
you.
1B.
And speaking, hold on. This is how this is gonna work differently. Okay. Speaking of two teams that are in the exact same category, we're gonna go 8. We're gonna go 9, and then nobody's gonna talk until I explain it, because these are two very emotionally invested teams that we all have disagreements
my
It's
with.
gonna be the
No,
Titans and the
So-
Dolphins.
We're gonna go 8 or 8 and then 7, and then I'm gonna talk,
Dolphins and then Titans.
and then we can go. Number 8,
Just preparing myself.
the Dolphins, and then number 7, the Titans. Now
I'm
listen,
not
listen.
even talking about it. Don't
Listen,
even talk.
this is
We know
exactly
everyone else. We know everyone else.
this is exactly what happened. So last week I had the Dolphins ahead of the Titans. This is me correcting that from last week. I made a mistake last week. I should not have had the Dolphins ahead of the Titans. This is me correcting that. This is not me moving the Dolphins down because they won and the Titans up because they lost. That wouldn't make any sense. There was not enough football played to decipher our arguments. You guys were saying the Dolphins are better than the Titans. We were saying the Titans are better than the Dolphins. The Dolphins, 35-32. They call that pass interference on Chase Claypool. Bears win that game. Same thing with the Titans. Went to overtime. One thing goes right for the Titans. They win that game. Not enough football has been played. And statistically, these teams are dead even. I will read the stats. They're dead even. There's no statistical argument for either team. Passing offense, Dolphins are better. Rushing offense, Titans are better. Scoring offense, Dolphins are better. Pass defense, Titans are better. Rush defense, Dolphins are better. Points allowed, Titans are better. They're dead even. I don't hate Dolphins at 7.
That's not dead.
Titans,
Can I hop in just to be like mediator here?
yeah.
What?
First off, because again, what I said last week was I wanted to see this past week play out. The Titans lost, the Dolphins won. The Dolphins again were not impressive to me, and to be quite honest, I would have your 9 and 10 teams above both of these teams, in my opinion. First things first.
Well, let me say one thing. This week, the Titans play the Broncos, and the Dolphins play where was it?
The Dolphins have an easy schedule coming up. It's
They
very
play the
easy.
Browns. Regardless, if they beat the Browns and the Titans lose to the Broncos, clear as day, I pick the Dolphins over the Titans. Vice versa.
Here's
I
where I
picked
think you
Titans.
have it wrong, just because the Titans' win streak has come to an end. That's why I think the Dolphins have to be rated above them right now. I'll say it, man. I think you guys have underrated the Titans' defense and how they played this season, because they actually have been pretty good. They have the number
Okay.
1 third down
This
defense
is where
in the
I'm
NFL.
at with the Titans.
I know you're going to say they don't have a passing game.
Their leading receiver is Robert Woods with 256 yards.
But here's the one thing
256
Here's the one thing that I
yards.
want you to understand, though. Different teams play different ways. They don't have to have the passing game because they have it in the run game. They have the number 1 rushing game in the NFL. I don't want to knock
They
them
also have the
because
number 1
I
pass
under-
defense. Number 1 pass defense.
I understand that, and
I know
give
you're
the-
gonna
I
say
give
it's a
their
passing
defense
league.
credit. Their defense is probably top 10, top
Oh,
7, no doubt.
it is.
Impressive. I think the past 5 games they've allowed 50 rushing yards a game or something like that. Their defense is
And that's something you guys knocked them about last week. Because you guys said their defense is bad.
All we said was the Dolphins are better than the Titans. No one ever said that the Titans are trash, that the Titans have a trash defense, that the Titans have a trash anything.
Said.
The only thing that I knocked on is that the Derrick Henry was their only key on offense, and that is true. I didn't say a thing about their defense. And the only thing that I said is Dolphins are better than the Titans. I don't know how many times I have to say that. That's all I said. I think if the Titans and the Dolphins played, I think the Dolphins are a more well-rounded team.
And that's perfectly fair. But see, what we're doing here, and right now, I agree with you. I have the Dolphins now above the Titans.
I think we should move on. I don't want to have this argument
But in a
again.
power ranking settings like we have been doing with the win streak that the Titans were on and with how the Dolphins were playing,
I just
that's
don't,
where
I just don't like you with the win streak thing. Just because, again, the Eagles were on a win streak
but
also.
truthfully though, you
And yet they were
be
number
honest
2.
for a second. They actually had a pretty good game with Malik Willis against the Kansas City Chiefs.
The whole
Their
reason
defense played phenomenal.
the whole
Especially for how
reason-
long that they had to be out there.
The whole reason why we had the Bills over the Eagles for as long as we did is because we thought the Bills are a better team than the Eagles. This is the same scenario with the Dolphins and the Titans for me. I think the
Same.
Dolphins are a better team than the Titans.
Yeah,
That's
but
why.
These
it's a lot-
games,
yeah,
to
it's
win
not
it,
even worth
and it is looking into the future, but to win a Super Bowl, if you cannot pass the ball,
Yeah.
look what they did last year. They were gone first round.
If you
and
don't
they're
have a
fu-
defense,
look
you're
at-
not going to win.
Dolphins do have a defense.
That's
No,
where
not
these
right
that's
now.
where
I don't know,
these
the
that's
Dolphins defense has.
that's
It's
where
not playing as well
statistically
as it
that's
is,
where
but
that's
again-
statistically these teams are even. They're dead even.
You know,
I looked at it.
I seriously want to give the Dolphins credit because their offense is phenomenal. It is top 5. You can maybe even say top 3. I have no problem with saying that. But they do have weaknesses. They do have a weakness with their defense, and it's a glaring issue. And on the other hand, the Titans' defense, surprisingly, nobody really talks about, has been playing well this season. They have a good run game. Sure, their passing game is bottom tier in the NFL. There's no question about that. But they play differently than everybody else, and I hate to knock them for that because they have who right now is the best running back in the NFL, who has been playing well. Their run game has worked, and they had Malik Willis again who came in. Again, I know he hasn't had a lot of passing yards. They didn't even give him the opportunity to throw. But they still had a tight game versus the Kansas City Chiefs where they had an opportunity to win throughout that entire game. I think it has to be at least a little bit eye-opening to say, like, maybe they're not complete frauds. You know,
They're just, to me, not a threat whatsoever.
These are
That's
two
how I
teams.
see
They
it.
almost beat the Chiefs.
They beat the Chiefs last year, Tom, and then they were a first-round exit in the playoffs. They're not. It's not impressive.
Where
to
were the
me.
Dolphins at last year?
These two teams right
Tua
now.
didn't play the whole. They what?
Like
They didn't
by
have
have
They didn't
Ty-
have a
they didn't
team.
have
Here's the thing.
Tyreek.
Here's the
Like,
thing.
it's a
Here's the thing.
completely different
Here's the
team
thing.
now.
Here's the thing. Bias out of everything. Everyone's biased out of everything. Statistically, these two teams are even.
Yeah,
Like we can say, yeah, we like Titans, you guys like Dolphins. Doesn't matter. These two teams are even, and until it's proven this week,
I disagree, but
you can't disagree
I can't
statistically.
disagree.
Statistically,
I can't
I just read the
disagree.
stats. Statistically,
care. The
you
stats
don't.
don't mean
Okay, but that's biased. You're bringing an opinion. You're
it's
bringing an
not.
emotional bias
No,
into
it's
it.
not.
Yes, it is. Then tell me why statistically one team is better than the other. Because
okay,
you can't. I did the
statistically,
research.
If it's based,
Suck
if
it.
it's based on statistics, then why isn't the best statistical team winning the Super Bowl every year? You can't just go off of statistics.
I'm
a lot
talking
of that's
about
based
right
off of
now.
momentum.
Right now, this ranking, right now, these two teams are dead even, 1 and 2. I could put them both at 7, both at 8. They are statistically even. Pull up any stat you want. They are statistically even. I just spent an hour in my bedroom doing just these two teams.
I'm sorry you wasted your time doing that, but
No, but you're biased. Your one opinion. You one guy saying, well, I think that the Titans are less than them. Doesn't matter. Because statistically, both teams, there's numbers. There's math to this. It's a science. Boom.
I'm in the middle of it. I am now in the middle of this because now I have the Dolphins as better. Again,
Which is fine. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what
okay,
you're
said,
saying.
what if I say it's fine
I
and I
agree
get
with a
freaking
lot
attacked
of
at?
what a lot of TJ is saying is true though. But on the other hand, like the Dolphins,
It's just like-
they win again. They struggled still against the Bears. This is after struggling against the Steelers. This is after, in my opinion, you can say no, they didn't, but they struggled heavily on defense against the Lions. 3 games, 3 bad teams. It's a 3-game win streak. I'm giving them credit because they won all the games. But they're getting a little bit overhyped, in my opinion.
Number 6.
But I like I said, I have his 9 and 10 team above both of these teams right now.
The Ravens.
crazy too, in my opinion.
They.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, man. Wow, these are all really close.
Where do you have the Ravens?
It's a pretty good question. I don't hate number 6.
I mean, they handled the Saints on Monday Night Football. Like that game was not even fun to watch. And I can't.
I think the Ravens are turning it on, man.
I think so too.
Their defense is starting to figure it out.
What did they do the week before?
They did the week before. They played.
They won. I forget what they did the week before though.
They played the Bucks 27-22. Again, 6-3
Andrews
team.
didn't play. Bateman was gone. I don't know. I like the Ravens, man.
They're now
More
on
than the
a.
Dolphins?
Speaking about win streaks, they're 1, 2, 3 game win streak.
Well, that's a tough one. I like their defense. Well, I think their defense is really starting to become dangerous now.
I don't hate number 6. This is kind of tough for me. To be honest, your 6 through 10 right now are all interchangeable for me.
Really?
Actually,
You would put the Jets over the Ravens.
Yeah, I would consider.
You put the
it, yeah.
Seahawks over the Ravens?
Yeah,
I definitely do
consider
think.
it,
See,
yeah.
like I do like the Jets, but
Absolutely.
I definitely think you're using that win against the Bills.
That's not-
You're
you-
really high on the
you
Jets now because
either-
of that.
Either a team beats a
Dude.
team, and you either like propel them to the moon.
Dude, they've been playing good all season.
said
What
that
is
he's
up
a
with that?
jumper.
They're with the Seahawks. Them and the Seahawks have been doing the same thing all
I
season.
agree with that.
Why would I not? Why would I think anything less of them after they beat the Bills? Why wouldn't I think a little bit more of them?
Would you put
After
the
that.
Would you put the Giants or the Bengals over the Ravens?
The Giants or the Bengals? The Bengals, not yet. That win versus Panthers didn't really do too much. I thought that was a trap game. That didn't. I thought that was a trap game for sure.
That game sucked.
The Bengals, I got to see it again.
I thought you said that was an impressive win for the Bengals.
Yeah, I thought it was a trap game, but like at the end of the day, it's the Carolina Panthers. Like that's reality sinking in.
Right.
It's the Panthers. The Giants.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because that's my biggest thing. Spoiler alert: the Giants or the Bengals aren't higher than the Ravens.
Yeah.
My biggest thing was like with number 10, I was between the Jets, Giants, and Bengals.
I want to see where you have the Vikings. Actually, that's what I'm very curious about.
That's another team I had a hard time with this week.
Because truthfully, I kind of like the Ravens more than the Vikings right now. I really do.
That's a tough one. I had a tough time with the Vikings.
I
This
don't.
week. But
Mainly because the Ravens, the way that they were giving up leads, and the Vikings, they're a good fourth quarter team.
it's fair. Number 5, I have the Cowboys. They did not move. What is there to say? They were on a freaking bye week. Can't move them up or down really. And I think you could, but I really do think they're.
were you the one that discussed that you might like the Cowboys more than you like the Vikings? Or was that
I
somebody
did.
else?
That was me.
I contemplated it.
I contemplated.
Just because of the
I'm
defense.
for
Just
it.
because of the defense.
I think the
They
Cowboys
play.
that you have been playing absolute
Oh,
sensational.
They do play eventually at some point.
Do they?
I remember looking it up. Okay. This is where my list got very
Oh, which one do I have in here?
interesting. Number 4, I have the Bills. They dropped down 3 spots. Now this week, ask me
my gosh.
ask me
my
who the Bills
gosh.
play.
The Vikings.
They play the Vikings, who at number 3,
Dog.
Oh
I have the
can't.
Vikings.
You were literally just talking about the Vikings. You might have the Cowboys about.
I know that was last week, and I was saying how fraud of a team they are. But can I punish a 7-1 team?
They're only playing
I
a fourth
can't.
quarter of football.
But
Well,
they're
that's
winning.
Okay,
but
well,
they're
that's a
winning.
bigger. That's a bigger thing then.
That's the thing.
That's a
I
big
can't fault a team that's winning. It's
I thought the fourth quarter, I was like, okay, they lost to the Commanders. Like they're gonna lose. And they
know.
man, that
Yeah, I mean, that's a great attribute to have as a football team. But my goodness, like these games that we're playing.
Oh, and the other thing that did, Josh Allen is very, very questionable.
Yeah,
He has
I
something
know.
with his elbow,
yeah.
and he might not play against the Vikings, which that brings the Bills down tremendously, in my opinion. Which I think the Vikings would win that game. If
Who's their
Josh Allen's
backup?
Case Keenum.
It's
Did
Case
Josh
Keenum.
Allen lost in that game against the Jets?
Because that's what he does.
I'm
He'll
not
make
saying-
mistakes, man. He'll
Yeah,
make mistakes.
Exactly. I was just saying, I'm not saying that Josh Allen isn't a great quarterback because I would gladly take him in a heartbeat.
Right.
But he lost in that game, and there's no questions about that.
Yeah.
So
That's why this week is.
I can't get down with this.
But
I mean, it's not the craziest thing you've
This
ever
week-
said. I
this
can't get down
week-
with this.
let's say the Vikings win. Am I crazy?
Well, know, and I think the Vikings have a fair shot to win the game. I just have a tough time swallowing this one because, again, like Logan said, it's a great trait to have, but it's really relying on fourth quarter football. Like
you
their
can never
first
you
three
can never be
quarters-
confident in the Vikings
No.
week to week, no matter who they're playing. You can't ever go into it like they are winning this
Right,
game.
but this is where I can't fault the Vikings because their only loss is the Eagles.
no, you're
and they're
right.
7-1.
I mean, I like the
and
Vikings.
that's the other thing. I
They're
did
winning
like
that
the Vikings.
division. No reason for them not to. They
Yeah.
really have to like lose out to
I-
lose that division.
I did like the Vikings, and then I was like, you know what? The more and more I look at it, I think they're a fraud team. I don't know. I can't say they're frauds anymore.
What win streak are they on right now? They lost to the Eagles a while ago, didn't they?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-game win streak,
There you
So
go.
week 2 they lost.
and they play. This is where it gets interesting. They play the Bills this week and the Cowboys next week.
That's tough.
Oh wow.
That's
So if
tough.
they can beat those two teams, frick, man.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, they're
agree.
hoping to win one of those games. You know, I mean, that's a lot.
And
to
with
ask.
if Josh Allen is out, I think they have a very high shot at doing that.
sure.
Number 2, Chiefs. And number 1, they finally got there.
Finally, thank
The
you.
Eagles.
God, I've been waiting for this.
I can't believe you put the Bills down 3 for this to happen, but
I mean,
The biggest thing is that the Bills beat the Chiefs is the biggest kind of thing to look at.
but then my thing is Josh Allen potentially being out and that loss to the Jets.
Yeah.
Chiefs, in my opinion, are fantastic. Like, again, my Super Bowl team. Eagles obviously undefeated. They're number 1. Vikings, I still am unsure about, but 7-1, only lost to the Eagles. I can't. This week of football determines a lot for me. They play the Bills, Titans and Dolphins play. It's like not each other, but they both play.
That would be so bad for one of us.
You're pretty quiet over here.
I mean, 1 and 2 is pretty obvious in my opinion.
What's your 1 and 2 Eagles Bills?
yeah, that's what I would have.
I mean, 1 and 2 is pretty obvious.
You gonna say what they are?
Chiefs and
What he
Bills have the
has.
same record.
you think?
Oh, what he has is
Yeah, I mean, there's not even really a question. I don't think. I don't know.
Really? You wouldn't put the Bills second?
No, they just lost.
Yeah, but so did the Chiefs already lost twice. They're just even now, and the Bills beat the
I
Chiefs.
mean,
No, but
That's
the
fair,
the
but
Bills just
I
lost.
look more recently to
right.
what happened, what has been transpiring.
Um,
more recently.
Chiefs are crazy to me. Patrick Mahomes is this man.
Let me know down below what you guys think. Where do you have your teams at in the top 10 list? And we'll see you here next week on Tuesday.